First, though, you'll know our next guest from his roles in Star Wars and Game of Thrones, Nanny McPhee, most recently the hit Netflix series The Queen's Gambit.
But, of course, we first met him as young Sam in the classic Christmas hit Love Actually.
Well, now Thomas Brodie-Sangster is all grown up and joins us to tell us about starring in a new animated family adventure. This is Dragon Rider. Hiya, how you doing?
Oh, very well. How are you? Good morning.
Very well. Good
see
morning.
you.
This is a movie you say that you would have loved as a child.
Yes, definitely. It was about adventure and traveling, and I mean, I was always a big fan of that as a kid.
Well, I tell you what, on behalf of parents everywhere, thank you for bringing out an animation that we haven't seen in our household yet. Let's let's have a look. Oh, it looks so good, it really does. And what's different about this story with sort of dragons as humans? You normally think that the humans would be terrified of the dragons, but with this one, it's actually the other way round.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, they live in a kind of mythical land, and it's slowly being kind of approached by these humans. And it kind of touches on elements of deforestation and the state of the world today. But it's about connecting with nature again, and about human beings and nature kind of getting along together.
Is it quite a solitary business? I mean, obviously, I think you did this 2 years ago, so it takes a while to put these things together. Yeah. But when you are doing a voiceover, and you've done them before, quite a solitary business that you're, sort of sitting in the room and remote from everybody.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is even before COVID as well. So, yeah, you unfortunately you don't get to meet any of the other cast. So you just sit in a room, you just do all of your lines, and you don't really get that interaction, which is a bit of a shame. I still haven't met my castmates, but sometimes, I mean, I have done the odd show where you are all together in one room and you do kind of you're able to bounce off each other a little bit more. Mm. But that's quite rare in voiceover.
So you never got to meet Sir Patrick Stewart?
No.
Oh, see, that's rubbish.
I know, that is annoying.
No,
He's quite the character that you play, isn't he? So he's a young dragon called Fire Drake, and he's got a big heart, and he loves adventure, which sometimes gets him into an awful lot of trouble.
Yes. I mean, I think he's wanting the best for his species and his friends and his family. So he's quite courageous, I think, without even really realizing it. But he looks around, sees the state of his world, and goes on this adventure to try and get more from life, really.
It's interesting what you say. You hinted upon it there, and I think it was really important to the director that there is a bigger picture. The dragons represent nature and the impact that the humans are actually having on it. So it's a sort of subtle message to the kids who be watching.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think me growing up, we always recycled. We did our little bit, but it seemed to be more of an adult theme, and it seems that nowadays kids are growing up, I think, and they should, it's the responsibility of everyone on this planet to look after it. And children of this generation seem very aware of that from a very young age, which I think is important.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that is definitely one for all the family, and it's Dragon Rider, and it's on Sky Cinema from Friday, you'll be pleased to know. Yeah. One that was for the parents, which we all absolutely loved, was The Queen's Gambit.
I learned chess over Christmas purely because of The Queen's Gambit.
Just so brilliant. And Benny was like this sort of rock star of the chess world. I mean, great character, great cast, great plot. I mean, I couldn't praise it more.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, it was great fun. It was really very good fun. I don't think anyone on the project really thought that a show about chess would do as well as it has, but I'm very glad that it has. I'm glad that people have gone out and bought chess sets again. I spoke to chess magazines, and they're very happy with us because we've made chess cool again.
I'll bet they are. It's funny because you're watching that and the moves that you make and that Beth makes when you're playing together, and that must have been a hell of a lot of planning, because I know that people like Kasparov were involved in, and they were sort of real historical games that you were learning and playing.
Yeah, they were. The chess was taken very seriously, and they were all every game played. I think maybe not every game, but pretty much every game played, was based on a real game that took place at some point in history, and each game was kind of picked for a reason. Like the way in which they won that game is reminiscent of what this character is trying to do in this scene. So the detail involved in it was quite astounding, and just being around those people and seeing what kind of a mind you have to have in order to be a grandmaster and to reach that level of chess was quite intriguing and interesting, especially as we were trying
Did
to
you
play
have a
those
long
kinds of
time
people.
to learn the moves then? Because you've got to get that right.
The speed chess. Was
Well, the speed chess scenes in the cafeteria, no, we learnt those about 3 minutes before shooting them. So we would just kind of learn it quickly, forget it, move on to the next one, forget it, move on to the next one. So it was more about like a visual memory of just remembering where the pieces all go.
So have you forgotten
challenging.
it? Because I mean, if anyone plays chess against you now, presumably you can remember some of those sequences and you're actually quite good.
No, it doesn't actually quite work like that. See, I was just moving the pieces because I was told to move them. I had no idea why I was moving them or what the
Well,
strategy
do
was.
you actually play, or is this just on your CV? Because an actor's CV, it says, you know, sort of you can horse ride and you do all that sort of
Oh,
stuff.
yeah, we just make it all up.
Yeah, and so it's made up. Can you play chess?
I can play chess, and I could play chess before, but not, I mean, not very well. And I can still play chess, and still not very well.
I think I was probably, when I was reading about the stuff you said about making the show, more concerned about the fact that you nearly crashed two classic cars.
Oh yeah. I mean, it wasn't too bad. I'd never driven a car with without disc brakes. So it had drum brakes in it, and I put the brakes on in this little old 60 or maybe even an late 50s Beetle, and nothing really happened. So there it is. So I kept having to kind of pump the brakes, and I saw this 67 Mustang, beautiful rear lights coming closer and closer. I was like, oh God. So I managed to get it stopped. It was fine. They do work, but it takes some more persuading.
You were so young. When we look at those pictures at the beginning of your career in Love Actually, and you were such a gorgeous little child. Many sort of child actors struggle later on in life, or they sort of, you know, that might be where their career ends, or kind of just getting wrapped up in the celebrity at that age. And you seem to have come out of it pretty unscathed.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear. Yeah, no, I mean, it can be. It's a strange life to lead, especially as a young person. But it was a life I always loved, and it was a life of adventure, and I learnt an awful lot. And I suppose I just kept somewhat grounded and relied on my friends, family, and school, and still riding the wave. But we'll see how it goes.
Well, riding the motorbike as well, and people have recognised you whilst you've been fully kitted up on the bike.
Yeah, that has happened. I'm always surprised at how amazing people are at recognizing other people. I'm terrible at it. But yeah, no, I've been at the lights and, you know, in a full face helmet, which comes all the way around. Tinted visor. I mean, the visor was open, but anyway. And they're all black and, you know, it's all padded, so it changes the whole shape of your body. And the cyclist just went, oh, I loved you in Game of Thrones, and then cycled off.
That's amazing.
Which I'm actually watching at the moment.
You're
I'm rewatching it at the
yeah.
moment. It did it all as it was coming out, but I'm rewatching. It's actually season 4, so you're in it at the moment. That's where I am.
Oh, right, yeah.
Currently. Listen, thank you very much indeed. It's lovely to talk to you, Thomas. And Dragon Rider is on Sky Cinema, as Holly says, from this Friday. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.